The stars shimmered faintly in the vast expanse of space, their light barely piercing the thick atmosphere of the planet Zorith. Kayla, an elite assassin from the Krylos Dominion, stood at the edge of a dense forest, her silver armor reflecting the pale moonlight. Her mission was clear: locate and eliminate the human fugitive, Ethan Drake, who had allegedly stolen classified Dominion technology. The Krylos High Command had deemed him a threat to their intergalactic supremacy, and Kayla was their most trusted operative. But as she stepped onto the moss-covered ground, her heart, a strange, unfamiliar sensation, began to stir. She had been trained to suppress emotions, to be a weapon of precision and cold logic. Yet, something about this mission felt different. Ethan Drake had been on the run for weeks. He wasn't a thief, nor was he a threat to anyone. He was a scientist, a man who had stumbled upon a Krylos research facility during an expedition. The technology he had discovered was revolutionary, a device capable of harnessing the energy of dying stars. But when he realized the Dominion planned to use it as a weapon, he fled, hoping to find a way to destroy it before it fell into the wrong hands. Now, hiding in a makeshift shelter deep within the forest, Ethan knew his time was running out. The Dominion would stop at nothing to retrieve the device, and he had no allies to turn to. He was alone, armed only with his wits and a small plasma pistol. Kayla moved silently through the forest, her advanced sensors scanning for any signs of human life. The Krylos had provided her with detailed information about Ethan's appearance, his habits, and his last known location. She had studied him meticulously, memorizing every detail. But as she closed in on his shelter, she hesitated. The sound of a twig snapping broke the silence. Ethan spun around, his pistol raised, and came face to face with Kayla. Her piercing blue eyes locked onto his, and for a moment, time seemed to stand still. She was unlike anyone he had ever seen, tall, with shimmering silver skin and an aura of both danger and grace. "Don't move," Ethan said, his voice steady despite the fear coursing through him. Kayla tilted her head, studying him. "You are Ethan Drake," she stated, her voice calm and melodic. "I have been sent to eliminate you." Ethan's grip on the pistol tightened. "If you're here to kill me, why haven't you done it yet?" Kayla paused. It was a question she couldn't answer. Her orders were clear, yet something about Ethan's defiance, his courage, intrigued her. She had expected a coward, a criminal, but the man before her was neither. "You stole Dominion technology," she said, taking a step closer. "You must return it." "I didn't steal it," Ethan replied, his eyes never leaving hers. "I found it, and I'm not giving it back, so your people can use it to destroy entire worlds." Kayla's expression softened, almost imperceptibly. She had been taught that humans were selfish, destructive creatures. But Ethan's words resonated with a truth she couldn't ignore. The Dominion's intentions were not as noble as she had been led to believe. Over the next few days, Kayla and Ethan found themselves in an uneasy alliance. She could have killed him at any moment, but instead, she chose to listen. He told her about his life, his work, and his reasons for taking the device. In turn, she shared stories of her own world, the rigid society she had grown up in, and the weight of the expectations placed upon her. As they traveled together, Kayla began to see Ethan not as a target, but as a kindred spirit. He was driven by a desire to protect others, even at great personal risk. And for the first time in her life, Kayla felt a connection to someone, a connection that went beyond duty and loyalty to the Dominion. One night, as they camped beneath a canopy of glowing alien trees, Kayla turned to Ethan. "Why do you trust me?" she asked. "I could betray you at any moment." Ethan smiled faintly. "I don't know. Maybe it's because I see something in you that you don't see in yourself. You're not just a weapon, Kayla. You're a person." His words struck a chord deep within her. For years, she had been defined by her role as an assassin, her worth measured by her ability to carry out orders. But Ethan saw her as more than that. He saw her as someone capable of choice, of change. Their bond deepened as they faced countless dangers together. They evaded Dominion patrols, battled hostile creatures, and even managed to disable the device, rendering it harmless. But their greatest challenge came when the Krylos High Command sent a team of elite soldiers to retrieve Kayla and eliminate Ethan. The confrontation took place in a crumbling ancient temple, its walls adorned with carvings of long-forgotten gods. Kayla fought alongside Ethan, her loyalty now firmly with him. Together, they held off the soldiers, but not without cost. Ethan was gravely injured, and Kayla was forced to make a choice: flee with him and risk capture, or stay and face the consequences of her betrayal. Without hesitation, she chose Ethan. She carried him to a hidden escape pod and launched it into orbit, knowing it would take them far from the Dominion's reach. As the pod hurtled through space, Kayla held Ethan close, her heart aching with a love she had never thought possible. The pod eventually landed on a remote, uncharted planet, its skies painted with hues of pink and gold. Ethan's wounds healed slowly, but his spirit remained unbroken. Together, they built a new life, far from the reach of the Dominion. Kayla never regretted her decision. She had found something far more valuable than duty or honor. She had found love. And as they stood together beneath the alien sky, watching the stars twinkle like distant promises, she knew she had made the right choice. Epilogue. Years later, the Dominion's influence began to wane, its oppressive rule challenged by a growing alliance of free worlds. Kayla and Ethan became symbols of hope, their story inspiring countless others to fight for freedom and love. And though they were far from the battles that raged across the galaxy, they knew their journey had made a difference. For in choosing each other, they had shown that even in the darkest of times, love could light the way.